Welcome to Crescent City with your hosts Natalie Jean and Jackie Zabrowski. Oh my God, Billie Eilish, are you here at the episode?
But I want to try this wig.
Yes, because you're a boss-ass bitch is what you are.
This is my Jessica 2.0. I'm working with it. I like this wig better, I think.
I do think it is definitely more Jessica, and I feel like she would have a boss bitch haircut. I know it's supposed to be like a bob, like I know it's supposed to be cropped, right?
It's supposed to be like this short, but it's hard to not to make it look like a mom haircut.
Yes, like a bit of a Karen, especially because it is so. And I'm saying this as a person that had a haircut very similarly for a very long time. It is, man, the judgments are real when you have short hair.
See, this is what it looks like. It's supposed to be shaved on the sides.
On the sides and more flowy up top, almost like a straighter broccoli.
Like,
honestly, it's a little. Oh,
this
good
cut's
Lord.
gorgeous,
Good
but you need.
Christ.
It's hard
Jessica's
to get it.
So hot.
Yeah, you need to get like. It's hard to get a wig that has a shave on it. That's usually going to be a really expensive wig because it's hard to make it look like that.
Yeah, and
so you have to kind of like work with what you.
I think you look great. I think you are. I knew who you were the moment you walked in. Like, obviously you did of me. And I.
Well, I had to work it out for a second.
Oh yeah, you had to. You don't think business asshole angel? You don't think I'm pulling this off? I'm trying to be Micah.
It's not that. It's that I had to work out. You're doing sort of a gender fluid, Micah. You have a very beautiful face of makeup on.
Thank you. It's a little David. I'm giving David Bowie with it a little bit because I feel like if you're an angel, go with me on this.
Yeah.
I feel like they always kind of look like they've got makeup on, even if he's not putting. Like I feel like he sparkles, he shines.
You're doing a little shimmer. You're doing a little bit of a twilight shimmer.
Yeah, I'm feeling it. I've got the skin of a killer.
You got the skin of a killer. Okay,
Micah.
I mean, barf.
Yeah, he's a barf zone, and I needed to make sure that I looked puffy enough. But I have Henry's A shirt over my muscly chest, and it looks like I've got a fat suit on.
I mean, it does have your chest pushed up to your chin for some reason.
Well, yeah, it's my pecs, Natalie. Ever heard of them?
Well, wait, what's this part?
It's my top pec. You don't even know. See, ladies, they look at me. They don't even know how I get this big.
You got so many muscles.
Yeah, it's because you got to do the That's how you get the top pecs.
Gym tan laundry.
GTL all day, every day.
Gym tan laundry.
Yes. Even though, again, as an angel, I imagine he would be this pale, even though we're always flying in the sun.
Right?
But I imagine he's not doing like a lot of his fair share of open country flying around. Like, I don't think there's no like John Denver playing in his ears. And there ain't no country roads taking his ass home. And I feel like Micah needs to relax.
I mean, I don't know if he deserves that, to be honest.
He definitely doesn't deserve it, but he needs to do something to get this stick out from up his ass. Is that just what happens if A, you're in control, and B, you live forever?
Yeah, I mean, I think that's a scary concept about us extending lives in the earth. Because it will probably first be the wealthiest people. And a lot of times, those are the worst people.
And you don't want them sticking around forever. And also the people in power. So it makes a lot of sense because then they put themselves in power and then they take it. And then they keep it. I hate you, angels! I love that angels are bad.
I do
in
too.
these stories. I think it's great as someone that, has a biblically accurate angel on top of my Christmas tree. I do feel that it's important to remember that angels are very scary.
They're also very patriarchal in nature, which is garbage.
Yeah, we don't like it over here, even though you are killing it as a boss-ass bitch. I still outrank you here, even with my top pecs. I'm sorry. especially with my top picks.
I mean, we don't Jessica's filled with mystery. We don't know everything about her yet, do we?
Don't know everything about her yet. All I
Mm.
do know is talk about like what we were talking about last episode. Jessica's another one. Oh my God, step on me with high heels.
We know that she likes to fuck. We've learned that. She's usually with several lovers whenever she is on a call.
Yeah, we know
With,
that. And it's crazy because the mystery of like, how do you, it's like, are you on apps? What do you do? Are you just, again, if you live for so long, do you just like have a Rolodex of fucks that she just
I
spins?
think like if you have, it's been open that she's in the House of Flame and Shadow, right? I think we already know that.
Yeah.
I think if you belong to the House of Flame and Shadow, you just go to like the clubhouse and go like, who?
This one.
Come here.
Fuck
you.
me.
And like, but like she'll still accept that. She wants their consent. She doesn't want to force them, but she wants people to be like, okay. And she
I
goes,
would.
come this way.
I would go, yeah, and I'll go, which way you want me coming? You want me coming, you want me going. I would be upset if she wanted me going though.
Going?
Yeah, instead of coming.
Is that reverse orgasm?
Yeah, I mean, yeah, I don't want to be sucked up inside of myself. And I know that like I'm not like the other girls when I say that, but I mean it. I don't want to be sucked up inside of myself.
You
even
are
though.
just kind of a little bit different.
Thank you. And it's not because of my angel status, even though, yes, I am already sweating. It is, I've got a lot of layers on. And you don't think about how hot top pecs are until they're resting up underneath your
I feel
chin.
like that's not exactly where they go.
Oh, is this not? I don't know if you know a lot about muscles, Natalie, as a dancer and like someone that works out all the time. Like, I feel like I know the person that never works out. Like, I
Yes,
feel like
you do.
I know a lot more about it.
You work out.
I do. I go, and then I stop.
Sounds like you're making sex sounds.
It does sound like that, and that's why I get kicked out of the fitness gyms.
That's hard to do in Los Angeles because there's a lot of weird ass people in the gyms.
Man, and it's just like people that are there that are like there to be seen, which is a weird thing to have to deal with. When you're like,
If
don't
I
look
go
at
to a
me.
public gym, I don't want a single human being to talk to.
no,
Not
but
a
it's
single one.
crazy in LA, and I imagine it's like this in other gyms. How often I see people like videoing themselves and making content inside of the gym, and it creeps me out.
It's a lot. And there's like a whole trend online. There's a guy who like calls people out on TikTok and shit. Because they'll get mad at other people in the gym for like getting in their shots and stuff. And you're like,
Dude, make your home gym. I guess if you're making enough money that you got to make these videos at the gym. And I'm saying
do
this
it in the
as a
park.
content creator. I just, the gym, nobody wants to see people at
Nowhere.
the gym.
Nowhere in public does anyone owe you space to make content.
No.
You should be ashamed of yourself.
Yeah, Jessica's dressing you down. You better, steel yourself because she's got the eyes of icy glare. Ah!
All right, 61 we're at. Chapter 61.
Man, I really thought you were about to say 69. I was like, okay.
In what context?
Chapter.
Oh, no, we're not there yet.
Not there yet. Fine.
Oh, but we'll be soon, and you'll want to, when we're past 69, we've already gone through some scenes that we haven't gotten to yet that you're going to want to stick around for.
Oh, yeah, these next chapters, they thick.
Yeah. So Bryce and Hunt are at the Med Witch's office. If you'll recall last episode, Bryce has revealed that she is ready to let go of the poison inside of her body, which she's leaving as a souvenir of her best friend.
Yeah, because
which is not
crazy.
super healthy.
It is crazy. It's a crazy thing to do.
And also, I think in this moment, because we're now at the Med Witch's office, right? This is the same one that Rune's been working with. We have to address that we still don't know her name and no one asks.
Nobody's been asking. They're like, this bitch is helping us so much, but why do I have to ask what her name is at this point? Just Medwitch B.
Okay, so my only input I would say here.
Is there a reason? There's got to be. I mean.
Well, she's a witch. So what if
Yes.
she's put a glamour on herself that makes people forget to ask her name?
Ooh, that's a sexy Jessica question right there.
Thank you.
I think that's a great theory, and
Yeah.
it makes a lot of sense because they do talk about the Medwitch often. It's not like, it's because she's just mentioned in passing. Like,
Yeah.
They go out of their way. I think at this point, you definitely notice that we don't know the Med Witch's name.
Yeah. And there may be reasons for that coming up soon.
Oh, interesting.
So the witch greets them and asks if Bryce's, quote, partner wants to join her. I think she does mean work partner since she knows of them from the crime scenes, but maybe she doesn't mean that, as we'll soon see.
Wink.
Bryce tells her that her partner would love to come to the room with her. Then we're back in the doctor's room. What do you call that?
Yeah, I mean, the Med Witch's lair.
What do they call a doctor's office room?
Patient portal.
Why can't I think of the word for that? This wig is tight.
It's the tight wig.
Is it different than a doctor's office when you're in the patient room?
I don't think so.
I feel like I'm forgetting a word. Maybe I have a glamour on me by a witch.
Honestly, I think that's a really good thing to say to anyone when you forget anything. Oh, I'm sorry. I've got a glamour that was put on me by a witch. Yeah. And if you just say it as a throwaway, just see if any questions are asked.
A lot of times people are not going to want to ask you more questions.
Oh, I mean, I would ask 100,000 questions because I would also want that glamour and I'd like to be glamored by a witch.
And also, but I mean, a lot of people would want to just start slowly backing away from you, which is also sometimes very helpful. So,
you're welcome.
You're welcome. So then we cut over to the room that I can't remember.
Yes.
It's called its name. And we're interestingly with Hunt at the beginning, this POV. I think it gives us a chance to really observe his emotions while he's watching Bryce prepare for this pain that's about to happen. He thinks about the room as he looks around. It's sort of like a doctor's office, like a modern tech doctor's office with machines and computers and stuff like that. And he thinks about how it doesn't look anything like the witch's setups in Pangaea, where he was kept forever, where it's all still like bubble, bubble, toil, and trouble stuff over there.
I don't think there is a word for that room. I'm now like searching my brain.
Weird. I feel like there should be, right? There's supposed to be a word for it.
I'll bring you back. I feel like, what do they say? They're like, oh, I'll bring you back. I feel like, I'm like, what do they say in that word?
Oh, no.
I'll bring you back. Think about every doctor's office you've ever been to and let us know.
Oh, God. Are we uncovering some mystery?
Yeah, why don't they have a name for it? What are they trying to hide from us? What do they do when we're put under the knife?
I mean, the couple.
They can do anything.
Yeah. I'm so terrified of going under anesthesia. I don't like it. I've never, and I'm scared too.
Same, and I'm so scared of it because also I smoke a lot of weed, and word on the street is if you smoke a lot of weed, that it doesn't work as well, and that you could like actually feel everything.
No!
And that you have to like not smoke weed for a while before you go under anesthesia, which also, oh my God, how do I live that life?
Interesting, because I always was like, oh no, I have an intensely high anxiety level, and I thought that would be the thing that wouldn't allow you to go under.
No, I have even extra anxiety on top, which makes me smoke more weed. And who's making me do that? The anesthesiologists.
Yeah, exactly. Thanks a lot. Because they want you to feel it when you go under. You're sickos.
Yeah, you're sick. You're all sick.
You're sick. So this is a very different setup. We've also talked about this in other capacities with Crescent City being like Lunathian is a modernized city where a lot of places on their planet are not still, even though they have the option, they just don't because they have magic, which is like much cooler.
Yeah.
As the witch goes over Bryce's chart with her, she's asking questions of consent like you would at a doctor's office and comes to the question asking whether Hunt was present at the night of the attack to get information about the wound. Bryce begins to answer, but Hunt cuts her off. Yes, he says. Bryce is stunned by this admission. She didn't know up to this point. I think we as the audience knew from his thoughts.
Right.
But she didn't know. And Hunt, perhaps feeling some shame, doesn't look at Bryce as he explains that he was actually the first to arrive on the scene that night and essentially treated her, but like somebody who would to a wounded soldier in battle.
In and out.
Yeah, fast, efficient, getting the wound closed and not worrying about how it looks or feels. It's like you need to get it done.
Yeah.
His voice is filled with regret as he tells this to the Med Witch. And also Bryce by proxy, and that it's his fault that it looks pretty bad. Because
But
he
he was
feels like,
trying to save her.
but he feels immense guilt for this, especially because he is now seeing the pain, the lasting pain she has, but it's
Right.
kind of also on her because she didn't ever treat it. But Bryce and Hunt look at each other when he's done because he's speaking to the Medwitch, like not really wanting to make eye contact with her because he's ashamed. And he's like, oh, Bryce is going to hate me. But like afterwards, Bryce just looks at him. And as he tries to convey his apology through his eyes, Bryce doesn't seem angry. She seems actually moved that she didn't realize he was the one who kind of like helped save her. The Medwitch tries to ignore the intense eye contact they're making with one another.
So uncomfortable. Like, okay, so you guys are just staring at each other. Medwitch is just like,
She's like,
okay, well, if we could, I think we're in the middle of something.
So as she asks Bryce if she ever saw Medwitch after this attack, because reasonably you would,
Yeah.
but Bryce says she never has. She asks Bryce why.
Her eyes still didn't leave his as she rasped.
Because I wanted it to hurt. I wanted it to remind me every day.
Those were tears in her eyes. Tears forming. And he didn't know why.
The witch again pretends not to see all of the blossoming emotions in this room. And
Just imagine the da-da-da-da, oh, wow. Just the little sounds she's making throughout the room, or at least I would be making if I were in that uncomfortable situation.
I'm going to just go. I'm
Da-da.
going to prepare this and remember I am in this
Is a
room at the
chart
moment.
I should be looking at, or
I am
yes,
here.
oh,
Hello.
it must be in the other room.
So she obviously can catch a vibe, right? So she's trying to ignore it, and she goes on to explain the process she will be undertaking in order to extract the venom from Bryce's leg. It will entail the Medwitch stabilizing the venom with her magic, and so basically turning it into one clump to use on the synth sample. She's hoping by experimenting, she can find a way to stabilize the venom without having to be physically present in the room with her magic holding it together. I envision it looks like the goo in a lava lamp when she stabilizes
I
it.
can feel that. Yeah. And like little clumps and globules all about, but she kind of got to fuse them all together.
Like, mix it
Yeah.
into like a little wormy.
I mean, you know I love my slime, so I love
I know. I
putting
can't believe you
clumps
didn't bring any
together.
slime.
Oh, it's in my bag. I've just kept it away from us.
Oh, wow. Thank you.
I didn't want, I just feel like slime is vulnerable and, you can't use it every day. Or
You got to
else-
choose.
Yeah. About like when I need it. I can't become reliant on the slime.
I get it. Slime lion.
Slime, slimement.
Reslimant. That's better.
Thank you.
Reading the description of how her magic appears, this is not a spoiler, but I'm very curious to see how this may connect to Throne of Glass or not, because the witches in that realm seem different, but there's another kind of character in that book series that's very similar to what the witches are explaining here. You know what I'm talking about?
I do know what you're talking about, and I just started thinking of a theory that I'm not going to get into right now because it would spoil things. Well, more on that later.
Sucks to be you guys.
Yeah, you'll never know what happens in my brain as opposed to every other minute of my existence where you know everything that happens in my brain because I always have to say it.
No, look at you. Keep it something there. Keep it for yourself in a little special vial.
Mystery. Yeah, you didn't know what I was going to say next because I'm so mysterious. I'm just so upset because you can see the straps of my angel wings. And it's like, what am I, a fake angel over here?
A fangel?
No!
You can kind of work it under the jacket's hard. The
Jacket's
blazer's hard.
But I'm business. I'm a business angel. What am I not supposed to have a jacket on?
No, I mean, that would look ridiculous.
Yeah, I'm not cash.
So she warns Bryce that she can only apply local anesthetic, which is, just topically on the surface.
Ugh, those damn dentists when they're always like, yeah, can't put you out. I'm like, I will do whatever I have to.
I'm not
I want
doing
to be out.
No, I know. I've never done it. I'm terrified to.
Oh, God, at least at the dentist. But the dentist is so scary.
No, Novocaine me up. I hate it. I've been to the dentist more times in my life than I would have ever cared to be. I've fucking terrible teeth my whole life. Been through like horrifying things in the dentist's office. but I will not be put out. That's too scary for me. I just get super numbed. Just Novocaine. And then can't talk for a while.
Yeah. I bet Henry's smiling though. And goes, "Hey, look at my wife can't talk. Yeah, it's better this way."
Oh, I didn't understand where that was going.
No, yeah, that you can't talk.
I was gonna say, I thought you were gonna say something more like sexual. And I
No,
was like, no,
Natalie.
that would
About my brother?
Oh yeah, I know you would never.
Natalie.
As you grasp your breasts, your top
my
breast.
top pecs.
Yeah, your
thank
top
you.
So she tells her when she goes past the local anesthetic, she goes deep into to get the venom, that Bryce is gonna feel it, and it's gonna feel not good. So she explains that the venom is kind of almost a conscious organism that will try to snag its hooks in her as she's removing it, not necessarily with actual physical hooks, but like will try to keep itself inside.
Yikes.
It's like a parasite
like
almost.
tendrils.
Yeah. We cut to Bryce's POV, and she's learning that the depth of the venom is worse than they imagined. It's just a few, minutes later. They've done like some scanning, and it's way down in there. And I imagine that has a lot to do with the fact that she left it alone for 2 years.
Probably.
Which is also what happened with my teeth. It wasn't because I had an emotional attachment to them. That was just because I was poor and I live in America.
No, you can't drill into them. You can't.
Yeah, no, my broken ass teeth. Like, please, I need to keep them to remind me of all the terrible decisions I've made in my life. So,
yeah.
The witch informs her that she's going to need to cut through a ton of scar tissue as well to get to the actual venom spot, which sounds uncomfortable.
No.
Bryce tries to hide how hard she's shaking because she's scared, man. She even the mind witch even offers hey, if we want to wait, we can push you under, but it's going to take a few days. And she's just I just want it done.
Yeah.
Which I totally get that.
And also she's had that pain, such a specific pain for such a long time that I feel in the same way that anyone I know that has chronic illness and chronic pain, it's just you see pain differently because you're I'm so used to it. Just fucking do whatever you have to do.
Cool. That's
hell yeah.
Very strong.
Love it. Love the healthcare in this country.
Yeah. That's great. So Bryce strips down to her medical gown, but Hunt looks away like a gentleman.
I mean, it would be really weird if right then you're just going to yeah. Slower.
I like when you're scared.
I'm very glad he looked away. Not the time, Hunt.
His specific kink is her being scared of other things, not him, not being scared of him.
No.
But she has to be terrified of something else.
Sure. Yeah. Just always keep her. I mean, it would make sense as these books go on if that was one of his kinks, but at least we don't know. And he's not saying it inside of his head. So
we know what his kinks are.
Oh, yeah.
And
get
they get
them
little
tootsies
piggies
out there, baby. And 8 little piggies.
Wait, did you say 8 little piggies?
Did you say ain't little ain't little piggies?
I said little piggies. That would be a very specific kink if he had only 8 of the 10 toes were arousing to him, but if he saw one of the other toes, he'd be like, ugh.
Maybe the little piggies squeak, squeak, squeak all the way home. Maybe
he doesn't like the little one.
Honestly, it would make it better for us if he didn't like the little ones.
You're right. He likes
know?
the mature.
So he likes 8 out of 10, the big, thick, girthier toes.
Really. Just really fully formed.
Yeah, any toe you can crack the knuckle of. You know what I mean? Really get in there.
So he's looking away. He's not helping her get undressed, but the witch helps her kind of tie her gown in the back. And she comments on Bryce's tattoo, asking what it says, since it's in a language she doesn't recognize. I gotta say, that's not super appropriate to do when your patient is naked in front of you. It'd be like, oh, like your tattoo. Oh, tell me about that tattoo on your naked body that's in front of me.
But I also do feel like you kind of want to talk about anything else in that scenario. I feel like anytime I am that annoying patient that if I'm going through something painful, I talk the entire time.
Sure.
So I usually am just and then there's let's just talk about Real Housewives of Salt Lake City, and I'll just monologue about how I feel about the Real Housewives of Salt Lake City, which I can do at the drop of a hat anytime you want me to.
No, thank you.
Okay. I just wanted to offer it in case you wanted to take me up on that.
Nope. Anyway, but I think
Pregnant with housewives, pause.
can you
Ugh.
can you though like in the situation though where you're like if it's like a tattoo that's in an intimate kind of part of your body
Yeah.
that's not being directly operated
Yeah,
on.
you're right. Yeah, you are. Honestly,
Like the
as I was
doctor like
saying that,
looking at like near your crotch, just being like,
yeah,
"Oh yeah, look at that.
interesting.
Oh,
Whoa,
can I
what's
see
going
it?
on down there?
Can I just poke at it?
Oh,
Wow."
got any weird or bad memories attached to this?
But anyway, you know, we don't play by Pangea's rules here.
You're right.
Bryce explains it says through love all is possible.
Oh.
That it means that she and her friend will never part.
A hum of approval as the Medwitch looked between Bryce and Hunt.
You two have such a powerful bond.
Bryce didn't bother to correct her assumption that the tattoo was about Hunt. The tattoo that Danica had drunkenly insisted they get one night, claiming that putting the vow of eternal friendship in another language would make it less cheesy.
Yeah. First off, I don't think that makes it less cheesy.
No, I think
but-
it's still, you're still getting writing on you, which a lot of people have a lot of thoughts about. And I'm saying this as a person with writing tattoos on my body.
Same. I also have matching tattoos with people who I don't talk to anymore.
That is, it's part when people say like I could never get a tattoo with someone because what if it all falls apart? It's like, well, I view my tattoos as memories.
Oh yes,
and it's like,
100%.
well, at the time I was really good with that person, and now we don't have that as much anymore, and that's okay because to everything turn, turn, turn. There is a season turn, turn, turn.
Also, the ones that I have that are matching, there's no indication that another person has. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
So-
yeah. It's not like half of a broken heart of like sissies forever, just a cisfa on it.
Cisfa.
I'm just a cisfa. I'm not a Trevor.
Which one would you rather be?
I guess I want to be a Trevor. So if you want to be a cisfa, we can do.
I
we
do
can get
actually think I
this.
prefer cisfa.
Yeah. All right. So what you're saying is we should get these tattoos. Okay.
All right. We just said it's a bad idea.
We did literally just say it was a bad idea, but what if
Who
now
remembers?
is the time?
No, who remembers what comes out of our mouths on
Yeah,
this show?
I want to learn more hard life lessons.
Yeah. Ugh. Sorry.
Oh,
I'm
yeah?
just sussing. This is our. I'm just showing it for people watching.
Corseted up. Natalie she is sucked into that outfit.
This is our affiliate, a company called Sophisticate. This corset is
Oh my
literally one
god,
of the
that's
most
why it's
beautiful
such a
things.
beautiful corset. Look up Sophisticate. Unbelievable. Unbelievable work.
This is from chapter 1, which is only they do limited drops, but we just saw chapter 2, the pieces, and oh my god, you guys.
I need. And we are going to be letting you guys know because we'll have some codes for you when that drops.
And
if
we're
you are
also-
interested.
Also, this is not I didn't mean to turn this into a middle.
I
thing
know,
ad,
but
but I
Sophisticate
just
is
love
so
them
great.
so much. The same company hosts Fae Balls, and we're going to be appearing at 2 of them in the year to come. And there will also be affiliate codes for that if you want a discount on those tickies.
Dude, just even look up, I promise you, Sophisticate, it creates such really cool environments for people where you could be vulnerable and yourself, and you can love SJM, and you can scream, you could put on your Fae ears, and you can dress up, and everyone just goes like, oh my god, you look amazing. Everyone goes, oh my god, you look amazing. And it's just one of the greatest experiences I've ever had.
Yeah, their ball quadrant of their company is called Fantastique.
Sophisticate and Fantastique.
Sophisticate is their Fae clothing line, and chapter 2 is fucking sick, you guys. Anyway, I'm just saying it because I love everything about them.
I know I don't even care so much about our code just because of the fact that you would get a percentage off.
Would get
that's the only
off.
reason why I bring it up. And it's worth it.
Worth
and
it.
And you can put all the different parts together to make different outfits. Okay, I'll stop. But they're great.
So it's very interesting that the Medwitch thinks that it's a tattoo with Hunt.
Ooh,
And she
feeling
feels-
a bond,
She feels a very powerful bond between them. And all right, so the witch throws in that curveball, and then the witch throws in another curveball.
Oy, oy, oy.
She looks at Hunt and asks if his halo hurts when he fell out of the sky because he's a sexy angel. No, she doesn't say it like that.
Yeah.
But if Bryce never uses that pickup line on Hunt, she needs to get her shit together.
Yes, or at least use Beyonce's Halo in some manner, you know?
Fayonce?
Oh my God. How dare I, Natalie? Fayonce. Halo, Halo. And
Micah,
I know, I was singing like an angel right there.
you must have a massive diaphragm from the top chest that you have.
Big muscles.
Yeah.
Oh, and there's just so much sweat under these muscles.
Ew. Underneath them.
Oh, yeah.
I think that's blood.
Oh, no. Oh, my God. Am I a sack full of organs and sploosh? I am.
Sometimes those thoughts get in there, you know. You're like,
Yeah.
we're just a bunch of jelly.
That and like the fact that we have jelly in our brain that makes us not feel like the organs are splooshing around inside of us. And I think about that all the time, that like, what if that just shuts off? What if all of a sudden you feel all the organs inside of you? Apparently, after a major surgery, you can feel the organs moving back into place. I've heard this from people that have had C-sections before, that you can kind of feel it like juking back into place inside of your body. What? That's insane. I know I want to say the dick is the best muscle, but I think it might be the brain.
Well, the dick is the brain of the bottom. You know what I mean?
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you, Natalie. And what's our brain of the bottom? Our knees?
No.
I always think knees first. I mean, it's our pussies, but
Yeah.
that is it's definitely our strength. But what if it was our knees?
I don't like it.
And then my knees have recently been going. So they've got a lot to say,
Oh,
and
boy.
I better be listening.
Ooh.
I think it's like I think there's a problem with my knees. But you know, we don't need to talk about cartilage right now. We need to talk about Hunt.
So she asks if his halo hurts from when, you know, he wears it because he's forced to. And when he says that it only hurts when they applied it, the witch looks somber and sort of regretful, because remember, it's the witches who are
Who did it.
assigned to hold the slave's magic in some kind of restraint through the tattoo. He asks jokingly if she wants to take it off him.
The witch went wholly still, and Bryce's breath caught in her throat.
What would you do if I did?
The witch asked softly, her dark eyes glimmering with interest and ancient power.
So very interesting. Could she be an ally?
Man, I want to bang a med witch. Man, it would be so cool to bang a med witch, bro. They hold so much intrigue. I want to know more about them.
Mysteries that aren't all answered.
Not yet.
Not yet. So she kind of seems interested about Hunt's feelings on all of this. But Bryce feels fear course through her at this discussion because it's a dangerous conversation to have. Any hint of dissent, just like with Lele earlier in a couple chapters back.
Yeah, because I might show up with my muscles, big guns. Not just Micah coming through.
Not just the angels, but the Asteri. They
Asteri.
seem to like have some sort of omniscient power.
I don't know. You're pretty scared of these muscles, Natalie. I don't know if you've seen these muscles, Natalie.
I don't know if you can turn. You kind of look like Big Ed right now.
I ain't got no neck. I ain't got no neck. For half a second, I thought you meant Eddie Tunes, EddieTunes.com. But no, you meant the man without a neck. And I am feeling a little Big Ed right now. You're right. No neck, big problems.
But like a very sexy version.
Oh my God, thank you. Yes. I'm going to make that waitress fall in love with me, which is what Big Ed did. And then there was a lot of things where it didn't go right for Big Ed on the whole 90-day fiance.
All right, we are back here.
Back to the Asteri.
Hunt stops the conversation there. So the med witch is seeming to sort of wanting to have like a little conversation about it, but he's like, well, let's move on. But there's a message conveyed in their brief discussion that if it came off, he would go after his captors. And the witch seems intrigued by this and unbothered, by the way. She may have her own fish to fry with the Asterian angels.
I mean, that's quite a question to ask if she wasn't. I feel
Right.
like that's definitely a, like,
Unless it was like trying to catch you.
yes, but
But it
I don't
seems much
know.
more like she's curious.
She's been the one that's going through and getting all this stuff done when they couldn't get it done other
Yeah.
places. So it's like that. I don't know. She's more than a mad witch.
More than a mad witch.
What is her name?
We'll find out maybe. She instructs Bryce to lie back and prepare for this incision. Bryce is visibly shaking with fear and maybe a little bit of sadness because this is her line to Danica and it's leaving her body.
Yeah.
But like, do you really want your memento to your best friend to be poisoned?
It's like you literally have a tattoo with her on your back.
Yeah.
Couldn't that be the memory you have with Danica?
Nah.
But you know what? I've never had all of my friends ripped to pieces in my own bedroom before. So I don't know.
Not yet.
Oh, there's a time for everything.
As the witch sets up her instruments, Bryce feels Hunt taking her hand. As she begins to cut into Bryce's leg, she holds Hunt's gaze. It makes her recall the surprising news that Hunt had been there the night of the murders because he had just revealed it. He had been the one who stapled her leg closed. She barely has memories from that night, probably from both the drugs and the trauma. The witch practically gasps at how much venom is in her and how deep it goes.
Yikes.
She prepares Bryce for what's to come, tells her to take a breath.
Someone poured acid into her leg, and her skin was sizzling, bones melting away. In and out and in. Her breath sliced through her teeth. Oh, gods. Oh, gods.
Ouch. That sounds not fun.
Yeah, it's probably no good. And I can't imagine, if you think about it, that like Novocaine or topical anesthetics are really going to do much for something that's like demon made, probably. I know that
Yeah.
she's still a med witch, but it's like I still feel like, I mean, she's obviously still feeling it, so there's not a whole lot they can do for her.
And the med witch did kind of prep her for that, at least.
Yeah.
I'm glad it wasn't a surprise. So as she's sort of in this like agonizing pain and trying to like control her breathing and just get through it, Hunt grips her hand, and as she sobs and tries not to scream, he begins to quietly tell her about the night that he found her. He runs his hand over her brow and tells her that he thought that night that he wished he had a friend like her, one that would fight to the death for the one she loved. As she cries out in pain, he strokes her hair and tells her he's never forgotten about her since that night. The witch tells her that she's begun the extraction and that the pain is going to worsen.
Cool.
But it will be over soon.
Just do it.
The pain crescendos and her body arcs, and you realize she needed restraints that as she was being put down because, and we don't know why when they mention it, but then you're like, oh, she's going to try to leave the operating table.
Yeah.
She tells Bryce to hang on, that just try to keep still as much as you can, that it's almost out.
I've got you, he murmured.
Sweetheart, I've got you.
He'd never said it like that before, that word. It had always been mocking, teasing. She'd always found it just this side of annoying.
He tells her that they will get through this, both of them. She realizes that he's there working through the pain with her, that he's not going anywhere.
Oh my God.
Not just in the medical office either.
Get through it. Together. Get through this mess of a life together. Through this mess of a world. Bryce sobbed, not entirely from pain this time. And Hunt, as if he sensed it too, leaned forward again, brushed his mouth against hers. Just a hint of a kiss, a feather-soft glancing of his lips over hers. A star bloomed inside her at that kiss. A long, slumbering light began to fill her chest, her veins.
First kiss alert.
It's like, okay, I know that it's really great that it's just like the brush of a kiss. I know that it's really good in this moment. It's something that gets her through, but it's like she's in the middle of so much pain.
Well, I will bring this back up later on because there's an interesting, I feel like, mirror.
Overlap. Mirror. I feel like that is now, mirror. Because they're mirrors for each other.
So we have to say it like that?
Yeah, so we have yeah, so I'm expecting some sort of air horn.
Mirror.
Thank you.
Mirror.
Wow, tiny.
Yep.
Tiny, kitten-esque,
Yeah,
and I
like
enjoy it.
So that was their first kiss. And it was, in a way, though, like extremely intimate. It almost
right.
like weirdly made me think of somebody going through labor.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like it felt like that sort of intimate couples moment where like the partner can only do what they can to comfort the person who's pushing a fucking baby out of them. So
I mean, I've never squeezed a child out of me, and I can't compare this, but I did get an IUD put in with no pain relief whatsoever, and Jeff did come in with me, and that's the only experience I've ever had with that, of like holding someone's hand as you have to get through something really, really painful, and he did. We just like locked eyes with each other, and we just talked, we talked through the whole thing, and like afterwards it was like, I couldn't have, like, I've done it once without him and once with him, and I was just like, I could never go through this alone ever again. And also advocate for yourself. IUDs are very painful.
You're right.
But it really does, it's a connection that like you just went through something so difficult together. And this is not the first difficult thing Hunt and Bryce have gone through together, but it's the first time they've gotten through it as a team.
Yes, for sure. And, he's conveying meaning through what he's doing there too, which she seems to reciprocate.
Yeah.
And also the interesting, that last part, a star bloomed inside of her at that kiss and her chest. It's interesting because that turns out to have a double meaning, as we'll find out.
Does. As I was reading it, I was just like, man, the second read through really gets you.
I know,
really gets you.
And then her pain just stops. It's because the witch has pulled the venom out, and it's as if nothing was there in the first place. She breaks the gaze of Hunt to look at what's just come out of her, and it's gross. Ew. Described as a wriggling, clear worm with black and green specks in it.
Oh, God, but I know that she can't keep any of the venom, but in the same way that I think that anyone I know that has had something removed from their body has asked if they could keep it. And oftentimes the answer is no, it's biohazardous waste. And I think that it would be really cool to just keep a pinch of that worm and be like, man, this was inside of me.
Well,
man,
I think you may forget that does happen in the scene.
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Oh, yeah. I'm just over here thinking about what big thing would come out of me that I would want a piece of it.
I appreciate body horror and I enjoy a lot of it, but I have a hard time with it at the same time. So I'm not sure that I would want to keep something that came out of me.
No, not even. Like, what if it's something that, like, has never been seen before? What if you had, like, raccoon eggs inside of you? And they're like, oh, we don't even know how they got in here, but we must harvest them before the raccoons are released.
Nope. Hard no.
All right.
Hard
I
no
would
on
keep
that.
one of the raccoon eggs. I'd probably raise the raccoon as if it was my child because the eggs would been inside of me, but I've never...
The sort of like thing of being like infested with something is like one of those things that's like akin to, what do they call it?
Trip-tree?
You know what I mean?
I know, when you can't see the little holes.
Yeah, it's not the same, but I have a similar reaction to like that sort of infestation feeling. So something that came out of me grosses me the fuck out. I had kidney stones all through my teen years.
You didn't keep any of them?
No.
They gave you so much pain. You didn't want to stare at those fuckers and be like, I bested you.
No, it makes
I got
me
you
feel
out of my body.
queasy thinking about it.
Man. All right. Well, I hope you never have one again, but if you do, may I keep it?
I guess so.
I just want a piece of your strength, Natalie. Isn't that, if that's not a scary thing to say, Natalie? What if Henry really wanted it?
Hey, guys. After her leg is sewn up and she's able to get dressed, the duo sits with the witch while she conducts her experiments.
Mm.
The three of them watch the venom sort of be floated with the witch's magic. She kind of like has it pried in a little thing into a jar containing a pill of synth. So she has them in like tweezers, like it's almost like a worm. It's like a living worm. When the lid closes, the witch uses her magic to turn the worm venom back into the liquid that it is and pour it inside of the pill. After a few minutes of waiting, the pill bursts and disintegrates, which sounds like a success. But of course, just like most medicine, it's just beginning of a long journey to figure out how to implement this on a larger and more intense scale.
Yeah.
But nonetheless, it sounds like good news.
Oh God, just thinking about a worm of that kind of energy, because now I'm triggered by the word worm, and I don't know if you knew this, Natalie, and it's only because of LPN Funhouse and because I had to have a worms massage where they put those huge night crawlers all over my bare feet.
Wait.
And I was really upset about it.
When?
On LPN Funhouse. Worms massage.
When was this?
I think it was the last one. The big one.
How did I
we were in
miss
the
that?
other room, or maybe the one before. And I was like, that's just worms. I don't care. And then you get all the like the night crawlers are big.
When did they
thick
have bugs
worms.
in the studio?
It was horrible, and they all have legs.
I totally
And so then they were
missed
like
all of this.
crawling, and I was doing it blindfolded because I couldn't look. I was like, I didn't want to see them because I thought it would be better. But then feeling the cold worms on my bare feet made me even thinking about it right now. I thought I was gonna be fine. I didn't think I was gonna freak out, but I did. I freaked out.
A lot of weird stuff happens in this building.
Yeah. It's almost like we're covered in the shadows of the ghosts of our content creation.
Who procured the night crawlers?
Kelly.
Did she dig them?
No, she's like, I got a guy.
Oh, God.
And she went to a guy that had them, some sort of person that's got special, it's bait. I think they're used for bait.
Wow. Yep. I had no idea.
But we
any of this
didn't
happened.
hurt any of the worms, and all of the worms were kept alive, and they were released into the wild.
Are
Cheers,
they
everybody.
invasive?
Oh, God, and now the night crawlers are taking over Los Angeles.
Oh, God.
But not the X-Men.
Oh, good. Since she only uses a tiny bit of the venom, there's some left over, and she offers Bryce a vial of it to take home. Saying she might like the reminder of her struggle. But methinks she might have other reasons that she wants Bryce to have it.
Interesting.
Chapter 62 has Hunt carrying Bryce back to the apartment to rest. Bryce telling Jessica that she needed to take the rest of the day off, which Jessica is not pleased with.
No, she's not exactly an equal opportunity employer over here. That's for damn sure.
Yeah. So, but she
also,
does.
Jessica, maybe you need more than one employee. Sometimes a person has to do other things.
Yeah, I mean, at this point, Jessica's still kind of a mystery character, so we're not sure what her deal is. But she tells Bryce if she's not in the next morning, she's going to be transformed into an animal. So she's going to just rest for the rest of the day. And Hunt has flown her back, and he's not complaining now that she's curled up on him on the couch.
Oh.
So they are kind of in the aftermath of this sort of intimate moment where he kisses her. And
Now they're cuddling on the couch.
but obviously she just had surgery, so they're not gonna like start boning or
What do
whatever.
you mean?
Especially,
What do
it's
you mean?
like,
Well, you ain't gonna bone me right now.
can you? Oh, what a horrible man that would be.
We scream about this over on Who's the Bitch. We started Who's the Bitch because of how many Am I the Assholes there are out there about men that are like, why can't I bang her? I know she just had a baby, but like I'm ready to fuck. And there's so many of those that we were just like, I want the opposite of Am I the Asshole?
Yeah.
Which is where Who's the Bitch? Check it out. Comes out every Wednesday.
So
Only on the Last Podcast Network.
they're not talking about it, and they're obviously not having sex in this moment, but they're happy. They're kind of just like touching each other.
It's beautiful. This is a beautiful romantic moment.
But the happiness is short-lived
Yeah.
because Micah calls and he is furious.
I'm just such a bad man.
Oh, yeah, that's you.
But I'm not a bad man. I'm a bad angel.
Yeah, you're not a man. Neither of them are confused about what Micah is angry about.
I can't, Natalie. I can't go through this part again. I think that's why I did forget that she kept it, because I did skip past this.
This is not even the hardest part in this book to me.
I know it's not, but this, like, it was, I think that, Akatar had primed me for how good SJM is at writing upsetting things, but not to the extent of what she does with Throne of Glass and Crescent City, I dare say. I'm saying this knowing full well that Feyre went through a lot. I'm not saying she didn't. She was very good at all that.
Yeah, Feyre erasure.
Yeah, I'm sorry for erasure over here. But this, I think it's because I'm so in love. Like, Hunt is a book boyfriend of mine.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sorry. We should talk about it first before
Okay, yeah, let's get there.
I used to float. All right.
Oh, this is actually a very good song for him.
It is. No, not Ellie.
So they know it's because of what Hunt did to Amelie, of course.
Bitch.
Hunt tries to hide his panic now that he's preparing to go over there with Bryce. And he's trying to hide it from Bryce because she just had surgery and he's trying to be like the tough guy, despite nearly deciding to beg her to get on a train to get out of town because he's so scared what's going to happen to her. They're fucked after what he pulled with Amelie. To Bryce's credit, she isn't yelling at him or calling him an asshole. Like, she knows Amelie technically did have it coming, and she also kind of probably likes that Hunt stood up for her.
This is the thing, because who has been sticking up for Bryce?
No one.
And I know that she has amazing parents, but I'm talking about in the situation of this book, who's really sticking out their neck for her? Nobody.
Well, the people who are keep treating her like she's a toddler.
Exactly. And that they're not giving her the opportunity. This is like, this protection is so different than what Danica was doing with her. You know what I mean?
I agree. So Sabine, of course, even though Amelie definitely deserved it, Sabine's not going to care about that.
No.
They don't speak very much as they prepare to leave, and Hunt helps her into a pair of loose sweatpants. He scoops her up into the sky. It doesn't stop him from thinking about the brief kiss they shared during this time, however.
A line had been crossed, one from which there was no walking away.
It's a bittersweet feeling, knowing that this meeting could tear them apart, but also knowing that they are now deeply connected in a way that they can't really take back.
Undo, no.
As he lands them on top of the comitium, he comes to the realization that Sandriel might be here, might even be in this meeting.
Ugh.
Rage and lightning threaten to surge to the surface of Hunt at the thought. As they go to make their way into the office where this meeting is going to happen and their potential doom, he jokes at Bryce, telling her to get that look where she's somehow looking down the nose of someone twice her size. Her light laugh forces a smile out of him in order to comfort her, but also because he knows he may not smile for a long time after this. They enter the room.
To the left of the governor's desk stood Sabine, arms crossed and spine rigid, the portrait of cold fury. A tight-faced Amelie lingered at her side.
Amelie. I don't know why I'm more annoyed with Amelie than Sabine. Sabine is a much worse person.
I know, but like, Amelie, I just hate. Because again, I think it goes back to what we were talking about last episode. Sabine is a bitch through and through. No matter what, she is a bitch.
Right.
And Amelie is just like I'm like a bitch, but also how dare you? It's that.
Know.
I just feel like it's that sad. Like, I just imagine that comes out of her and it fills me with rage.
Yeah, it's so annoying. But, I mean, at least Sandriel's not in the room. That's good.
Yeah.
But they know they're fucked. They know they're fucked. Sabine's there. Sabine is merciless. She's cruel. Michael launches into it. Listen, Hunt, we have all the documentation we need, so don't bother to lie about what happened.
I'm gonna show you my muscles one more time. Are you scared? Are you scared of my top pick? Yeah, I can't really talk because my top picks are in the way.
Yeah, I am scared. I definitely am.
I know he is, though. He is scared. I hate that Hunt is upset and scared of Micah.
Of you. Maybe
Of
you can
me.
maybe you can kiss him. To make it
Whoa.
up.
I mean, I'll watch a video of it for sure, you know?
Whew, yep.
Ooh, their pecs just rubbing against each other, but they're all wet for some reason. I think it's through
Raining?
their tears.
Oh, their tears.
Yeah,
Okay.
they're just crying so much and then they bang.
They have, I mean, it wasn't like Hunt was gonna lie anyway, but Mike is like, just don't cut the shit. I don't want to hear excuses. We saw it on the video. And then he says, Amelie then reported this to Sabine, and then Sabine brought it to me, Micah. And Amelie looks embarrassed and says, I just mentioned, I didn't mean.
But also, Sabine, fucking come do something about it yourself, bitch. You're gonna go screaming to Micah. I thought you were this big scary bitch. And now you gotta go running to a man to go deal with your shit. So why don't you take care of it yourself, Sabine? Ooh, I'm all revved up now.
Because she's a bitch, but she's weak in a lot of ways.
Yeah, of course she's weak.
Yeah. Hunt tells everyone in the room that he was reacting to a cruel prank that Amelie pulled on his partner. But Sabine will have none of it. Obviously, she's not going to listen to like rational arguments. In fact, she just continues to berate Hunt with more insults about Bryce because she's fucking obsessed with her.
It's like, get a new line, bitch.
I know, just like whore, trash, half-breed.
Okay.
Yeah, we get it.
Yeah, why don't you just put it on a recorder and leave it be?
So as this is happening, Bryce seems to shrivel away at the words. A lot of times Bryce can stand up to this sort of like mockery and cruelty because she, has to wear this cool exterior, or this tough exterior, I should say. But when it comes to Sabine, that never works. It plays into her own guilt, I think, about what happened to Danica.
Yeah.
So since Sabine, like the most effective bullies needle into something you're already insecure about.
Of course.
And so Bryce feels responsible somehow for Danica's death, and so Sabine plays into that. It only fuels Sabine's rage. She tells Micah there needs to be real consequences. After all, they've already accused her of murdering her own daughter, and now this?
Oh, shut up, Sabine.
She's a bitch. She demands punishment now, and she wants to watch it. Amelie tries to argue. She's like,
Ugh.
Sabine, of course, shuts it down. Hunt is certain that this isn't really about Amelie or the interaction. It's really just an excuse. It's to satiate Sabine's need for cruelty.
Exactly. And honestly, and Micah also wants to keep him in line. So any way that it's like any toe step out of line, he's going to bring down the hammer.
But I also enjoy that he's clearly irritated with Sabine. Like,
With
he doesn't
Sabine,
like Sabine.
of
Just like,
course.
"Ugh, not this woman again."
And Micah knows he has to do something about it because Sabine is such a bitch.
Oh, yeah. But even still, he knows that he is over Sabine's authority. And he doesn't like Sabine commanding him what to do. And he tells her that as much. It's not her place to demand things from him.
I'm the daddy.
Yeah. But she continues on, suggesting that in their world, a slave assaulting a free citizen is forfeiture of their life.
Oh my God.
Which is ew, gross. All of that sentence.
Yes.
Bryce nearly collapses in panic. Please, is all she gets out. Despite Micah being a fuck, he has shown less sadism than Sandriel, and in this moment, he makes his decision. Hunt will die.
No.
But it will be through a tradition known as the living death. That is, to have his wings sawed off.
No! Not his wings!
Not his wings!
Not his wings! It's a living death! No! I can't do it, Natalie. I can't.
This doesn't surprise Hunt, although of course it grieves him. But all the females in the room look confused as they're not angels, so they're not sure what this means. Micah explains, and it horrifies Bryce, of course. But this is the way that the angels have, this is the tradition that they do. This is the punishment. And Hunt looks at Micah as he explains to Bryce and understands this is the way it goes, that there's no other way. And he lowers himself to his knees, actually thinks that it's fair of Micah, which I don't agree with, but he's gone through this before.
But that's the thing. Think of how much he's been tortured. So for him, he's like, well, he definitely could have done something much worse.
Yeah.
Yeah. Much worse than hacking off your wings in front of everybody.
Yeah. So he does specifically say at one point, I don't know if we've gotten to it yet, but he has had this happen before, of course, when he was captured and everything. And so, he's like, I'm not going to die. So let's just do this. Let's just get it done.
Also, think of someone that has been tortured for years that, like, I guess, sadly enough, his perspective of like, well, at least it'll be over and done with. Like, at least it's something that is one time,
right,
one-stop shop,
right,
kind of punishment.
Amelie, again, seems to regret all of this happening and tries to backpedal and tell Sabine it's not necessary.
Too little too late, you idiot.
No one's listening. Also, Sabine doesn't really care about Amelie at all. She just wants to see this happen because she is a sick fuck. Bryce tries to launch herself at Hunt, but is held back by Victoria, who's also in the room with them. Really for her own good, because if Bryce interjected, there would probably be much bigger price to pay. So Victoria also, as she's holding Bryce back, whispers to her that the wings do grow back. He will have wings again, and it just takes some weeks. Hunt thinks about the excruciating process that happens. But hey, he's been through worse.
Hunt spreads his wings and lifted them, holding them high over his back so the slice might be clean. Bryce began shouting something, but Hunt only looked at Micah.
Do it.
Micah didn't so much as nod before his sword moved.
Hunt blacks out, but comes to moments later to Bryce screaming. He looks to see Amelie in sort of shock, but Sabine is merely amused at it, which is like, Jesus Christ, what a psycho.
She really, man, even those little bits that SJM puts in of just like the fact that she's amused during this, and like you're so
like watching somebody be mutilated.
Oh my God, what a trash person.
But Amelie she's horrified, but like, I don't feel for you, like you're a jerk. Hunt is only thinking about going back to Bryce's apartment. So essentially, because he's so accustomed to like the worst kind of torture, he's just like, it's done. Now I get to go back with Bryce. And that's what he's thinking about. But Bryce can't take the smirk that's on Sabine's face and begins to berate her. You are a disgrace, Sabine. Sabine unshockingly just begins to insult her again.
It's just like, get better at it.
Yeah.
It's just always the same. It's like, yeah, we get it. But come up with something new. At least make it up.
Yeah, and she's the same old one. It's just like calling her a whore and everything.
She's horrible.
Bryce screams that she never deserved Danica as a daughter.
That's what I'm talking about, Bryce.
And Sabine spits out that, yeah, you're right. She didn't ever deserve such a selfless, spineless brat for a daughter, which is, of course, not what Bryce meant.
No.
But she is a cunt. Thankfully, this outburst hasn't made Micah take more action out against the duo. He's irritated with everyone, and he just tells them all to get out and basically still allows Hunt to go back home with Bryce, which is, good. So
honestly, it is. And it is sad that he does technically go easy on him.
Right. But Sabine's on one now. She's not done yet. With hatred rippling through her words, she tells Bryce that she went to visit the Underking after Danica's sailing. And he revealed the truth about what Bryce did. The scene at the end of part 1, of course, if you remember back, when she kneels before the dead gate. Not only that, but Sabine tells her that when she went to summon Danica from, what's it called? Oh my God. The bone zone?
Yeah, I think it's the bone zone. The
The-
bone zone. Bone quarter.
Bone quarter, thank you.
Bone zone, though, she really missed out on a great phrase.
So
The bone zone. Uh-oh, dying of relief. Get on down to the bone zone.
okay. So Sabine reveals that she went to the bone quarter to summon Danica, and the Underking said that Danica refused to see her mother. She's disgusted with Bryce's decision to sell her space in the bone quarter for Danica.
Well, none your business, bitch.
Bryce screams back, and Sabine tells her Danica deserved to have her boat dumped like the coward she was, that she didn't deserve to be in the bone quarter.
You're a bad mom.
I wouldn't say that. I'm going to go.
You know what?
Guys,
No.
guard yourself.
Whoa.
Trigger warning.
Oh.
She's bad mom.
She's a bad mom. She's a bad mom. I'm just glad that we finally said it.
Yeah. So she calls Bryce. She leaves, of course. She needs to have a button of calling Bryce a stupid whore.
Gotta get one more in there. What if she forgets?
What if Bryce was like, oh, I forgot. I'm dumb
Thanks.
and a slut. So Micah finally chimes in again, just tells them to get out of his office. Bryce is sobbing as Sabine storms out. Amelie quietly, as she passes by following Sabine, says, I'm sorry. But Bryce only spits at her. Hunt blacks out again. So this is a very dramatic scene with this, which just is like, there's a man covered, there's an angel covered in blood. There's severed wings on the ground, and Sabine is sitting here making this young adult woman cry and just calling her a stupid whore.
I
And
just
it's
feel like all of a sudden,
all
it's
right.
So you had a bad day, and take it down. It's just everyone's just really sad, and you go through a montage of all of them getting home.
Well, they're not going to get.
Have had a bad day.
They have had a bad day. They're not going to get to go home just yet because we cut over to Bryce's POV because we had been with Hunt during that entire scene. But now this is a little bit later on. They need to go to the bed witches because even though they are not permitted to use First Light to help the stumps grow back, they, make sure he doesn't die of bleeding to death or whatever. So they can treat him to an extent. So they're with the med witches, and they, part of the punishment is the humiliation and pain of the regrowing process. Hunt remains unconscious through this, but Bryce never leaves his side, stroking his hair as the witches work on stopping the bleeding, again, as much as they're allowed to do. While she sits with his head in her lap, she thinks about that night, the night that Sabine was referencing, the horrible night when she made her way to the entrance of the bone quarter to face the Underking. He seemed amused at her presence there, as mortals rarely dare appear before him. She got over there by giving a coin, much like the River Styx mythology, to cross to this mysterious isle. The Underking already knows why she's there, because I guess he's like an Underking, so he knows stuff. He asks her if doesn't she want her own soul to live here in honor, because she wants to offer her soul, essentially. All she says is, I wish to trade my place for Danica Fendir. He continues to challenge her, seemingly not surprised she's offering, but says, don't you want to be here with your loved ones? Don't you know you're going to disappear? He asks her over and over again if she is so sure this is what she wants to do. I wish to trade my place for Danica Fendir, is all she says.
Then say it. Do you want me?
In
my head, that I just imagine. I didn't know if that's in brain or.
I know you say it. Great.
Then say it, Bryce Quinlan, and let the trade be done. Say it a seventh and final time, and let the gods and the dead and all those between hear your vow. Say it,
and it shall be done.
Very scary.
Thank you. I was really working on my Underking. Thank you for letting me shine
Yeah.
in that moment. And yeah, I do view the Underking almost Yoda-esque, I guess, but I feel like I have to think of him that way so that I'm not scared of him.
I get it.
And maybe the Underking appears to you as whatever you want them to
I
appear
feel like Yoda
as.
would be a little insulted by that, but
You think so? Like,
yeah.
Daniel is me, I Yoda, me, our king.
Oh, Star Wars head over here.
I am so like, ugh, may the 4th be me. Come on. I
She
know
says-
nothing. I've never finished Star Wars.
I have ridden the rides many times.
Oh, yeah. Star Tours, I can talk to you about till the end of time.
I'm not into Star Tours because the screens, I think.
Oh, did it make
kinda
you
barf.
bad belly?
But the newer The Rise of the Resistance ride is one of the sickest fucking dark rides.
I've
ever.
heard. I haven't wanted to wait in the
haven't done it
line. No, I don't want to wait in the line.
Jackie, we have to go.
I know. You know I'm not a Disneyland person.
Ugh.
Disney scares me with it's so big and powerful. And not in a hunt kind of way where I want to bang it. Like, I don't want to bang the corporation of Disney.
Well, like the corporation's not good,
Yeah,
but I love a theme park. I'm sorry.
I know. That's why I just usually I stick to my Six Flags. I go to my Knott's Berries, you know?
Oh, I love me a Knott's Berries.
God, so good.
So, anyway, this horrible.
So she's,
scene.
oh yeah, no, she's in the middle of giving her soul. All right, yeah.
So he asks her to say it a 7th time, and she does without hesitation. She knew what it had meant to Danica to get across the river. Even the Underking said, you're grieving right now. You might be making a mistake, but she didn't even falter.
Which good on the Underking for
I
giving
mean,
her an out.
very-
Kind of nice.
Really responsible.
I wouldn't
of them.
expect that from someone who's like the keeper of souls in the Bone Quarter, you know?
But Bryce wouldn't allow even the chance of the risk of her not getting across because she knew how much Danica had like dreamed of this being with her ancestors. So she does this right after all of the murders, and she had done it in this exchange in secret. She was actually able to sneak out of the hotel room she was staying in with her mom that a horrible, awful week because obviously she couldn't be in their apartment.
Yikes.
And Sabine's rage at the comitium, she had tried to convince Bryce that Danica's suffering in the Bone Quarter was because she didn't belong there. Because she tried to convince Bryce in that last scene that Danica is suffering there because she's not supposed to be there.
Right,
It was
you
one of the
didn't
things
help
she
her.
yelled at Bryce, which is so fucked up.
I guess like technically she is coming up with new things, though. So she was doing what I asked, which
That
is
is
come up with
true,
new material.
To like
so
torment Bryce.
in different ways, you know?
So, like, what a weird thing to say about your daughter. Like, she's writhing in hell right now.
And she loves it.
And she loves it. But Bryce just does not believe that at all because, like, no one is more deserving than the brave and courageous Danica Fendir. Your boat tips in the river if you are, like, a coward or, like, don't deserve your space. And, like,
Right.
Danica does. But the reason Bryce did it was just in case, the Underking is as cunty as Sabine, and not in a good way.
No.
He's not serving cunt.
No.
So she said she didn't want to take the risk, and she knows Danica's supposed to be there. She mulls all this over while she is sitting with the unconscious Hunt, and she decides to pull her phone out in that moment. Hunt's still just like resting in her lap. She sends her first message to Ethan in 2 years.
You tell your alpha that Connor never bothered to notice her because he always knew what a piece of shit she was. And tell Sabine that if I see her again, I will kill her.
Even though Ethan quickly responds to this, telling Bryce that he had nothing to do with what happened, essentially backpedaling away from like, I didn't do it, okay? Like, I think trying to make it clear that he's not trying to torture her, but she's over it. She said finally, like, she's kind of stood up for herself, which she hadn't been doing.
Go for you.
So she says that he disgusts her. They all disgust her. And then she puts her phone away. She doesn't want to have a conversation about this. We cut to later on in the same night, and Hunt has finally awoken. He is startled at first by the missing weight of his wings.
The emptiness hit him like a semi-truck, but soft, feminine breathing filled the darkness. A scent like paradise filled his nose, settled him, soothed the pain.
Ooh, he likes her.
Oh, that even through all of that, just hearing her breathe brings him some relief.
Oh
my God.
Looking around the room, he sees that on the clock it's 4 a.m. and that he's actually in Bryce's room with her sleeping next to him. He can tell by the state of everything around the bed that she's been tending to his wounds all night. Though he's in pain, he won't waste these precious hours of intimacy with Bryce because they don't know what their future is going to hold. And he achingly reaches an arm out for her, tucking her into his side. She doesn't wake up, but leans her body back into his.
Something deep in him shifted and settled. What she'd said and done today, what she'd revealed to the world in her pleading for him. It was dangerous. For both of them. So dangerous.
Oh no, not dangerous.
Uh-oh, this is not sexy danger, Natalie. It's not sexy danger, it's scary danger.
But what if it was?
Oh, maybe if it's sexy danger.
He knew in this moment he shouldn't give in to his deep feelings for her, that it could only end up in disaster and tragedy in their worlds. But he can't make himself stay away. Come what may, and it may be quite horrific, he stays.
So Hunt savored the feel of Bryce, her scent and breathing, savored every second of it.
You don't have a lot of time. You better get on. I don't know.
Oh, but I guess I would hope that they would give him some kind of like Xannies or something to, at least like if they can't give him anything really for the pain, like something to just zen out for a while.
Well, it sounds like he was unconscious for like 10 hours.
Yeah.
Whatever,
Well, also, going through an experience like that, I imagine
makes you sleepy.
Takes a little toll out on you. But also think about Bryce having gone through what she had gone through that day as well, and then staying up and tending to him too. Oh my God, I love their love.
Yeah.
Not me as Micah. I hate their love. Maybe and I'm gonna be against it.
Maybe when Micah's alone, he also goes like, "Oh my God, they're so cute.
I liked it how she stuck up for him.
I wish I had a girlfriend.
I'm all alone." He's just listening to "Have a Bad Day." He's like, "I had to cut somebody's wings off today." I can't even make jokes about the lyrics because I don't know the lyrics. I know it goes and turn around, and that's about it.
Hate Sabine. Hate her. Wish Sabine would fuck off.